The latest, including from Nyeri itself. There has also been a lot of heat in the political space. This is within the Orange Party, and there are different voices within the ODM party, majorly two factions, but everyone has an opinion. Let's watch what has transpired over the weekend.
Msidanganywe. Raila kusema mambo ya coalition. Alisema haki ya wananchi itimizwe kwanza.
Serikali ya UDA iko na maadili inafanana na ODM. Hawa ndio kwenye kuhujumu demokrasia kila siku. Wanashika vijana wetu eti kwa sababu mtu ameandika kitu kwa Facebook.
Kwanza tunataka NDC iitwe. Na kama mwezi ita NDC, tuko hapa na katibu ambaye anasimamia mambo ya kuita NDC.
Why are you so jealous of Uhuru? Why are you jealous? Wivu gani? Ambao unaona kwa huyu?
Some people are saying that the shoes of Raila are too big for me. Even though I know they are big, but I'm trying, I cannot surrender.
I know in the party we have seen pressure groups, caucuses coming up. That's an unhealthy party. But for sure, under the leadership of Dr. Oburu, we will stabilize the boat.
Party leader ambaye atachaguliwa pale kwa NDC itakuwa ni Dr. Oburu Oginga. Na deputy party leader atakuwa Simba Arati. Na mwingine atakuwa Abdul Swamad. Na chairperson atakuwa si mwingine ila ni Gladys Nyasuna Wanga.
Tuheshimu party leader wetu Dr. Oburu Oginga Odinga. Tumeelewana? Tuheshimu party leader wetu kwa heshima ya juu. Kukua party leader sio mchezo.
All right. Kukua party leader sio mchezo. Now, there's a clamor for an NDC. On one side, they're calling for an NDC to decide the future and leadership of the party. On the other side, they're saying an NDC will be called, but this is the list of people that will be elected. This is your party, Mheshimiwa Mondi. What's going on?
Sometimes I wonder whether I should even be talking about ODM issues, really. But since I'm here and you've asked me a question, let me try and answer it. What is happening in ODM? There are clearly two distinct groups that have emerged, but there are many other groups even within the party.
Yeah.
You can clearly see there's one group that has made up its mind. They'll take the party leadership. They've already given you the lineup. Elections have been called, but they've already said these are the results of those elections. They've made up their minds. They will work with UDA.
Yep.
They've made up their minds. Anybody who opposes them will be fought and crushed. Somebody is calling them wachezaji wa kulipwa. That's an MP from Busia called them.
Yeah.
Told me those wachezaji wa kulipwa.
So that's the Oburu wing.
I'm not mentioning names. You can infer.
No, they're the ones who have endorsed the UDA-ODM coalition.
So what they are doing, you should ask yourself.
Yeah.
There was the 10-point agenda. That 10-point agenda was to be reviewed by March 7th of this year. And if given satisfactory marks, then further engagement with UDA were to follow. The review has not been done, yet a decision to engage further with UDA has been made. So one group is saying, wait a minute, we do an audit of the 10-point agenda. For me, let me also throw some word of advice to my friends Babu Owino, Sifuna, and James Orengo, and Osotsi. The NDC that they are calling for is already rigged. That is why these guys are going around in these big tents, selecting the delegates. The last ODM elections, members of parliament actually were asked to prepare the lists. So those lists were prepared and sent. And if you are compliant, your list was accepted. So
is that how delegates are
That is the
selected?
truth. I'm not lying to you. That is the truth. So what you are seeing, what my friends don't know, all these things you are seeing, oh, we are in Kakamega, we are in Busia, we are in Kisii, these are the list of delegates prepared by compliant members of parliament, and they've already been induced. There's an inducement to be in that tent, yeah? And they've already been given the script. That is why Honorable Millie Mabona had very difficult time speaking in Siala in Kisumu over the weekend. She was booed all throughout because she went off script by speaking her independent mind. So
she didn't pick her delegates or what?
No. Even so, this NDC, what you are hearing, all those manenos,
yeah.
There's nothing that is going to happen there. But there are going to be bigger storms coming because of the legal processes within the party and all that, which I don't want to go into.
Yeah.
But for me, I think we are moving away from our purpose as a party. And we are moving away from the lessons that Raila left us with. So already the part of the leadership has made up their minds on these issues. Let them go ahead. We wish them well. But where are the Kenyans? Like I've always said, for me, when they say, oh, Baba left us in broad-based, for me, Baba left us in Azimio. ODM never exited Azimio. There's Azimio with our traditional partners, the 7 million votes that Baba had. That is where he left us. Yeah, the broad-based was an accidental occurrence, and which he said very clearly will be reviewed by 7th day of March of this year, whether we continue or we leave. And as I've always said, Baba told us never to say two-term as MPs, and you never heard me say it. Yes, yet I'm one of the very first people who engaged with the president. But I don't, because I understood very well why he said that. So this group, wachezaji wa kulipwa, them, they are gone. Don't waste your time having any discussion with them. You see educated people like Professor Makau Mutua becoming an embarrassment to the profession. You are a constitutional lawyer. You are given a job that is declared unconstitutional. You are appointed to head some forum or some unit, which again is declared unconstitutional. So what's the point of calling yourself a constitutional expert?
He's a constitutional advisor to the president.
That position was declared unconstitutional by the court. He went to head the compensation unit, was declared unconstitutional, and is on this other group, you know. Yeah. So they've already made up their minds, and they have a timetable which they have been given. This week you have to do this, you have to get sure that all these things are done. How amenda? So if you want to fight for the soul and heart of ODM, you have two very difficult choices. You can continue fighting in the party like Wakina Sifuna are doing, and hopefully you'll find a legal pathway to wrest the party from this other side. Or you can do what we did with Raila when our pathways were locked in Ford, Kenya. We carried the spirit of what we wanted, and we went and formed another party and continued with those ideals. So those are the pathways that are open here, as far as I'm concerned here.
All right, let's listen in to the events that were, I believe it was on Saturday at Siala in Kisumu. Watch what transpired.
To confirm to Dr. Oburu Odinga that the Kilifi Declaration and the pact that they have done for this community to lead this party to the next phase is endorsed by this crowd.
Hakuna decision itachukuliwa kutoka kwa dirisha. Chama iko na structures, and the decisions will be made through the relevant party structures. And once they are approved, there will be no reverse gear.
Kanye okora adong kaka Joshua. Mane kaka Jakom Raila nowacho nwadhi Kanan. To an kaka Joshua abro neno natero Kanan. Singapore.
We commit to responsible, consultative, and issue-based leadership that prioritizes the social economic transformation of our people.
All right, Dr. Oburu Oginga there, he spoke in the Luo, but translations, you can see them, that he will take ODM to Canaan through Singapore?
To Singapore through Canaan or what?
We'll get to Canaan through Singapore.
Singapore. Okay, we'll find a route on Google Maps and see how that goes. But Mheshimiwa Wandeto,
yes.
Your thoughts about what is happening at a time they are saying there will be an NDC to take decisions, but already decisions have been taken to even work with the UDA. Your thoughts?
Some for a long time we saw ODM as a guardian of democracy and good governance in this country. Even those of us who maybe have never been part of ODM, we always admired ODM and the things that Raila Amolo Odinga stood for. And it's very sad to see a few months after his sad demise, to see the sort of fragmentation that is happening within ODM. And it's not entirely unexpected. First of all, it's good to be honest that this fragmentation and this internal angering is sponsored, okay? And there is an external force, an external hand, or an invisible hand, who strongly seeks to divide ODM for purposes of 2027 succession, or 2027 politics. And so the ODM people here, like Karoli, they need to be very, very careful because they risk losing what they have built over a 20-year period. What we are seeing is also a fight between the old guard, and the younger generation, Oburu and his team, who basically, because of being in the broad-based government and a little drunk with power and opportunity, feel that they can sacrifice all the ideals that ODM stood for those sort of short-term gains. And then we have the more progressive people led by Sifuna, by Babu Owino, James Orengo, and to some extent, Karoli Omondi. It's just that maybe he has not come out, but I know where his heart is. He doesn't like to, the things that are happening. And there's a group that says, you know what? There's something we stand for as ODM. We cannot be part of the sort of things that we are seeing in the country, mismanagement of the economy, killing of our Gen Zs, attacking people in churches, all these things that we are seeing, all the evils that we are seeing, they feel they cannot really be part of it. And I think only time is going to tell. But these are interesting times for ODM. All they need to remember is that there's an external hand that is heavily influencing what is happening ODM. That external hand would like to go into 2027 with a very fragmented ODM because it will be easier, to manage. But mine is to wish them well. I'm not an expert in internal ODM affairs. I think the first step should be that NDC. But again, Karoli is saying something very important, that the NDC will be, the outcome has been predetermined. Yep. So I sympathize with Babu and Sifuna. Maybe what they should do is to do exactly. You remember even Raila was at some point restless. I think even almost against his father. Yep. That time, when they were trying to, when I think he formed, is that the time he formed Ford Kenya?
That's the time we formed NDP.
NDP, yeah. So that restlessness is good. And I think what the young people should do is that if they are not welcome on the other side, would be to register their own political party. The larger Luo nation and people from West and people from Coast who carry the spirit of ODM and the spirit of Raila will actually prefer to be led by the Sifuna, to be led by Babu Owino, and the old wazes can be left with just with the name and the position that they have gotten.
You're not being an ageist,
No, Sam.
Yeah.
If I could add something, now on a broader spectrum, talking as a member of the greater Luo nation, you see, the strength that we have had has been the fact that we have been supported consistently by a very large section of Kenyans. If you look at the presidential elections that we have gone through, 5 election circles, we got a lot of support from Western Kenya, Gusii Nyanza, Masai Land, Pokot, and the rest, and Coast. And 3 cycles, we got very strong support from Eastern Province, Kalonzo Musyoka and his group. That has been our strength. And we never fought with them. We never disagreed. They never ran away from us.
Right.
But we are in a hurry to run away from them. And this is a question that I've been asking. Why? That is why I'm saying Baba did not leave us anywhere other than with our traditional partners in Azimio. That's where we are. So this idea that we are, we've suddenly become ethnocentric, just thinking about Luo interest, and then running away into things that don't make sense within the larger political picture, claiming that there's a lot of development that has been brought. Let me just give you one flavor. I've done my math. When Atandi was speaking in that CLR resort thing, he gave a breakdown of so-called projects in Nyanza. If you add all those projects, I think they're under 50 billion. There's one referral hospital being built in Eldoret at 50 billion. One. Yet there's already a referral hospital in Eldoret.
Who's building it?
The government of Kenya. So for all the hype about development in Nyanza at 50 billion, one project.
Which one is that?
There's a new hospital being built in Eldoret. You're not aware?
A government project?
Yes.
What's the name?
Find out.
No, tell me.
No, just find out.
Location?
So,
is it a government project?
Yes. Look at the sugar mills. The Luos were told, we will privatize them. Yes. They will start generating money. Farmers will be paid on time. Sony Sugar, everybody has been fired. The other day, they were demanding their pay. We were told the reforms have yielded enough sugar. Farmers are now very prosperous in Nyanza region. The other day, we imported 6 billion worth of sugar. My own road in Suba, where the Minister for Finance comes from, the contractor has not been paid 3 certificates. Work is going at snail pace. So when you hear Luo leaders everywhere they stand, oh, development this, oh, development that, the question now we want to ask, don't tell us that there's this project that has been costed at 3 billion. Tell us how much money has been disbursed to that project in actual terms, and how many people have gotten jobs there. You saw the other day, they are talking about inclusivity. SHA recruited 47 people. One Luo was appointed. One. So what are they telling us? You know, this is what is annoying a lot of Luos who at least are objective. Because the community is now being projected in a certain light that we are sycophants. If you're a politician, you go and make some statements, you take a video, you send it somewhere, and you get some money on M-Pesa. Yeah? I mean, it is rubbish, absolute rubbish. Yeah, this is what is annoying a lot of our community people. Because we are being told, suddenly, our traditional partners are bad people. Why is it that the Luya supported us for 5 general elections, yet we cannot think of a party leader from Luyaland for ODM? Are there no people in Luyaland who can lead this party? What about Kalonzo Musyoka, who stood with us even when he was not on the ticket? We just walk away and we turn our backs on them, and we don't even sit down and tell them, hey, guys, we are leaving. At least grace and gratitude requires you tell your partners, I'm having second thoughts. But we jump up like some birds that have been scared, in the bush by whatever knows, God knows what. This is the discussion happening in Luoland. And I think it is going to get deeper. Those who have taken a certain pathway, for me, I think we should just let them go, because you will not bring them back. There are inducements and incentives that they have at personal level to continue going that way. But the rest of the community, I appeal to them. We must have this honest discussion, because what will happen in the future, all this that you are seeing today will not be there. And suddenly people will be reminding you, oh, you have forgotten 5 election cycles we were with you and you walked away when it was convenient. Please just stay where you went, because it will happen. So these are the things that a lot of Luo people are struggling with. And,
Now, Steve Shitera has sent me something about the 50 billion shilling project you're talking about, 4,000 bed, level 6 multi-specialty, MTRH in Kiplombe, Uasin Gishu County. This is being constructed at a parcel of land of spreading across 200 acres in Uasin Gishu.
What is the cost?
50 billion.
Correct. So one project in Uasin Gishu is 50 billion. All the one the Luo leaders are talking about in Nyanza is under 50 billion, but if you check the funds that have been disbursed are under 10 billion. And where you see, oh, we are in broad-based, we have development. Oh, we are in broad-based, we have development. What kind of nonsense is this?
Now, I've also been checking. Why are you laughing, Mheshimiwa? I've also been checking if there's a route from Nairobi to Canaan, assuming it's Israel, through Singapore.
Through Singapore.
Now, my Google Maps is failing me because it tells me, sorry, we could not calculate driving directions from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to Israel. But if I walk, it tells me that it's about 5,700 hours. That would convert to 247 days of walking. 5,934 hours. The distance is 26,000 kilometers. Of course, it's not possible to walk that direction. But at the same time, as this is happening, there was a declaration or an announcement, because initially it was the ODM party leaders coming out to say, we are going into talks with UDA. Now, the UDA has come out, and this is what they said.
Our engagements with our colleagues and brothers in ODM go beyond the 10-point agenda. As I mentioned, it is our intent to be an all-inclusive party and coalition that brings everybody on board and all Kenyans on board. And therefore, we look forward to working with ODM even into the next elections next year.
That has given us the foundation, the place to start. But we believe that there is more that we can achieve if we build on that particular foundation. Therefore, it is not a separate arrangement. It is building on what already has been achieved on the 10-point agenda alongside other things.
The pacts that we have with our partners within the larger Kenya Kwanza coalition remain intact and very valid. We cannot go to look for new partners and lose the old ones.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, there's a question that must be asked. If this is being founded on the success achieved in the 10-point agenda, what exactly has been achieved? One of those points was for compensation of victims, which has been dealt a blow by the High Court. There are the issues of the economy. There are the questions of dealing with unemployment.
Electoral justice.
And, of course, justice for persons that may have suffered over the past many years. Mheshimiwa Wandeto, your thoughts? Because UDA is still your party, at least on paper, and now taking this direction. And in 2022, UDA and ODM could not
see eye to eye.
Exactly. Now we're getting to this. We have not heard of coalitions being formed this early towards an election. What's the catch?
I think what these guys are saying is that they are no longer interested in implementing the 10-point agenda. Let me just be honest with you. Nobody is following on that. Remember, I think on the ODM side, it was Kalonzo Musyoka. I don't know whether he was the leader. I've not even seen. I don't even know whether. I don't even know whether if an ad committee today is called, he would even attend. I'm not sure. But what they are saying is that, you know what, we've moved on. Okay, now we are interested in 2027. Now we've realized ODM has a good catchment area in terms of votes in Luo Nyanza. They had some good influence in Western Kenya, good influence in the coast, and they are banking on their support. But I think what maybe the UDA people need to know is, and they can do a reality check, is that at least from where I sit, I see the ODM vote running away, going with these young people. These young people are the people with the masses. There's Sifuna, Babu, Orengo faction. This is the one that is going to go with the people. The same at the coast. And generally, Sam, if this is about 2022 arithmetic, me, I'm seeing UDA to be UDA versus Kenyans. To be UDA versus Kenyans. To not even be UDA or ODM versus whatever. People are angry. People are tired. People have suffered. People have been lied to, and I think they can't wait to basically bring the change that they so much desire, in their community. Some, you saw me laughing, and allow me to digress. You saw me laughing when Karoli was talking about what his leaders keep talking about development, because I was having images of the same thing that I hear from people from my area, where they are saying, you know what, there's development, and while they are talking about development, for example, in Nyeri, where a 50 billion shillings hospital is going on in Uasin Gishu, there was supposed to be the national cancer hospital at Dedan Kimathi University at a cost of only 5 billion, which has now been scrapped. there is now talk of removing the police college from Keganjo and taking it to some place, I don't know, in West Pokot. The Mau Mau roads have stalled. Most of the projects in central Kenya, Rorengo Stadium in Nyeri has stalled. And, you know, people are basically saying that, you know, we are here for the sake of development. So it's the same illusion or delusion that Karoli Omondi is saying. Our leaders are also, in part of central Kenya, are also suffering this delusion. And it's very, very sad, you know, that we've all been blinded instead of seeking democracy and justice, you know, for our people. We've all been blinded by these positions that people have been given, these sort of short-time gains that people are getting, and we have decided to sacrifice our people at the altar of convenience.
All right, I'm just refreshing our memory on what the 10-point agenda was. Let me just read that quickly. First, there was the full implementation of NADCO report. You recall NADCO report is what birthed the peace that we saw following the Azimio protests against the government in March 2023 and July 2023. Then there was the NADCO that was chaired by Kalonzo Musyoka. It was shared chairmanship. I think it was between Kalonzo Musyoka and Kimani Ichung'wah. Now, the 10-point agenda was seeking to implement that fully. There is then, second, is the inclusivity in governance. You can make assessment whether there has been inclusivity. Protect and strengthen devolution. Have we?
No movement.
Economic investment in the youth.
We are getting worse.
Well, okay. Uphold integrity in leadership.
Worse.
There is
check the events of yesterday.
Safeguard right to peaceful assembly.
Check the events of yesterday.
And part of that, I believe, was the compensation of protest victims.
Yeah.
Audit and reduce national debts.
It's getting worse, 5 trillion more next year.
Fight corruption. And number 9 was to raise and manage resources responsibly. Then number 10 was to protect the sovereignty of the people. Mheshimiwa Omondi, how well have we done?
Thank you very much. I'll go through them very quickly.
Yeah.
Let me start with corruption. For the first time, Oxfam released a report that indicated that since EACC was established, the hit rate has been the lowest. For all those years. I remember when we established EACC, I was a state counsel at the Office of the Attorney General. All those years to date, in terms of investigations, prosecutions, and convictions, the lowest score was last year for EACC. So the fight against corruption, as assessed by an independent body, Oxfam, is not up to scratch.
Yeah.
The national debt, there's been no attempt, seriously, to reorganize our national debt. The audit of the debt, remember we agreed we will audit external debt.
Right.
That has not been done and completed. We agreed we will do that. There's nothing there. And even in terms of trying to reduce it, I think it has just been increasing. And to make matters worse, we are now being exposed to a situation where we seem not to have a program with the World Bank IMF for budgetary support, and which makes me suspect that when we sell the stake in Safaricom, for all the good things we are saying, it may just go to support recurrent expenditure. The proceeds may just support recurrent expenditure. If you look at inclusivity, there is no better answer than the recent recruitment of SHA officials. So it happened, it is fresh. We don't even have to now dig deeper. There it is. That is what inclusivity is all about. If you go to NADCO report, NADCO is full of illegalities. I've said it many times. NADCO is proposing that we establish the Office of Leader of Opposition. In a presidential system, you cannot have such a position. And I've always asked the proponents, where will it be placed? In the executive, in the judiciary, or in parliament? Where will this leader of official opposition be? And what will be its role in a presidential system of government? So that is an illegality. The second illegality in NADCO, they are saying, to achieve the 2/3 gender rule, we will wait for elections to be held, and then we figure out the number that we need to nominate to meet that threshold. So they are proposing, in other words, that we have a parliament that neither has the minimum number or maximum number. How can you have such a thing in the Constitution? It will be declared illegal by the courts. Yeah? The other thing they are proposing is that we have a commission to run political parties instead of a single registrar of political parties, that we will have a 5-person commission. Why are we wasting resources to run political parties whose business are elections once in every 5 years? Again, that breaches Article 232 of the Constitution. So NADCO report is full of illegalities. Yeah, there'll be nothing to be implemented there. Compensation of demonstration victims. I've said over and over again, there is no reason why we are waiting for this. By now, the courts have made a ruling. That matter should be handled by Kenya National Human Rights Commission.
Right.
ODM and Azimio affiliates should have prepared their report. These are our members who were killed, who were shot, who were maimed. These are the hospital bills, these are the things, and taken that list to Human Rights Commission and asked for compensation.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And of course, we continue to have more of such discussions to just establish how well we're doing it. Every initiative that we come up with, of course, funded by the taxpayers' money, is there value for money at the end of the day? But of course, the conversation continues. Let's take a look at the feedback coming to us at Citizen TV Kenya. Sam Gituku, #Tuesday, Citizen DayBreak. Amaganga, most of you are saying that what transpired at TCK with Tima Parish in Othaya is unacceptable. Churches should apply for adequate security, especially when politicians are chief guests, to help prevent the injuries we have witnessed. Bobo Tieno, continuous attacks of DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua, especially in a church. President Ruto is further digging up his hole against Mount Kenya region, and it will cost him come 2027 for his re-election bid. Franco Rinde, recent political violence should alarm every Kenyan. When intimidation, chaos and bloodshed become tools of politics, democracy is the first casualty. If this trend is normalized, 2027 risks being decided by fear instead of the ballot. This should be condemned. Efokango, we strongly condemn the attacks. Unfortunately, politicians have turned churches into political stages. They expose worshippers to division and even violence. Faith spaces must be protected, not politicized. Engineer Lazaro, even during the Second World War, churches were being spared as sacred places for the vulnerable. Why attack churches with guns and batons? Keep politics out of the church. Wakenya wacheni tabia mbaya. Babu Michael, you said that I'm an ODM member and don't feel it's advisable to make commitments and strike deals this early. Raila didn't operate that way. I'm afraid that when we commit ourselves to some issues this early, we may have nowhere to run to in case things go haywire. Okay, that's what I'm here. And so much feedback also coming in matters relating to education of Kenyans, asking what needs to be done. And we'll continue to talk about it. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa Geoffrey Wandeto, Mheshimiwa Karoli Mondi, for making time for us.
Can I say one thing?
Which is?
To wish my one and only sister happy birthday today.
Oh, oh okay, okay.
She turns 60 today.
Oh, what's her name?
Geraldine.
Geraldine.
Yes.
Geraldine. Happy birthday, Geraldine. In Mombasa.
Yeah,
and thanks for watching Citizen TV, because you'll hear of this message from Citizen TV. So Senator Veronica Maina and Mheshimiwa Eden Kenan are not able to make it. They had to attend a parliamentary group meeting early morning at State House. And we wish them well as they do that. Also to remind you that indeed it's a very silent week. Arsenal lost to Manchester United 3-2. Indeed it is possible to beat Arsenal. If you don't take away this mic, I'll continue speaking about what transpired yesterday. Bye for now. Have a good day. See you again some other time.